Hey Billy, uh, got the message that your daughters were trying to put together a really cool Christmas gift for you and wanted some videos and whatnot for you. And so from the Scarborough family, we didn't want to miss the opportunity, definitely, to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas. And you should be very proud. Pretty cool gift that your daughters are doing and putting together. But I'm not surprised. As a young father growing up in this industry, none of my friends had kids. I was the first of the batch, and so you and Jim Brim were my were my model to follow, if you will. And seeing the passion and energy that you guys put into raising the kids and around livestock and going to all the jackpots really kind of set the bar and set the example for us. And so, it's all paid off. Hopefully I can say the same and somehow get all my daughters married off, which probably is not going to happen, but you did a hell of a lot better job in that than I did, obviously. You even gave me some of the best parenting advice I probably ever got, too. And you and I joked about it a couple years ago at State Fair, but I remember when Joanne was pregnant with Axel. You were extremely excited, obviously, to have a boy. And we were sitting there talking, and you said, naming a boy is very important. You got to put a lot of effort and energy into it. It's a lot different than a girl. And you said, boys growing up, they're very mean and cruel, and they bully each other, and they beat each other up, and that type of stuff. So you got to think about what insults kids can make out of your son's name. And at that particular time, you said, I have two names in mind, Rucker and Axel. And you said, I'd much rather have somebody call me asshole than fucker. So you thought Axel the asshole would be a better name than Rucker the fucker. And so you thought you were doing your son a favor by not naming him Rucker. You want to keep him out of as many fights as possible growing up. So that's one memory that always kind of stuck with me in terms of parenting advice, and I'll never forget. And for that matter, I was reading something a few months ago, and it said, think about it. In our lifetime, we meet thousands of people. But how many can you actually say you remembered the very first time you met them? And so I thought about that for a while. And they said, well, those people that you remember the very first time, it's for a reason. Either one, they meant so much to you. They put you in, like your spouse, somebody that's going to be with, that did something for you for the long term, for life. I don't remember the first time I met my wife, though, but that's the honest to God truth. Or it's somebody who walks into a room with an overpowering personality that draws people, and they never forget that person. And they have that moxie, that charisma, that energy that attracts people. So I thought about it, and there was three people I could think of that I remember the very first time I met them. That was one, Susan Perry, my junior year. She came into our ag class. She was not a teacher, and she was trying to get kids to sign up for a livestock judging team. And that was probably the most important day in my life, to be honest with you, in terms of where I am today and where my kids are and all that other type of stuff. It set the path to where I'm at. The second one was Dave Spalding. It was his production cell my freshman year in college, and me and John Mendez and Isaac Robles went to his cell to work it, to help get it set up. And as soon as Isaac stepped out of the truck, Dave attacked him, making fun of him. Just hilarious. And he had that bravado, that charisma that brought people. And I remember that day like it was yesterday. The third person is Billy Barnes. My junior year in high school, I did sign up for that livestock judging team. One of the very first contests I went to was at Great Western Tulare. Mind you, I grew up in a commercial cattle family, and so I knew nothing about the show ring, and I just wasn't exposed to that, so I didn't know any of the people in it. But as we're going class to class, we go over to a market barrow class. And I remember seeing you, and you're obviously very distinct. You know, you're a little bit shorter and stalker, built like a brick shit house, and you had this unforgettable voice. And you were talking market hogs, and this would be 1993. And so we wanted them long and lean and tall and hard doing and all other good stuff. And as you're talking to class, you had everybody's attention. And nobody was not paying attention. You had that energy, that moxie, that just drew people. And then you start talking about the barrow at the very bottom of the class. And obviously, with those days and times, that typically was a fat one. Maybe a shorter bodied one. And you said, this barrow reminds me of me if I get all down on all fours. You said he's a little bit shorter. He's a little bit stouter. He's a little bit smaller frame. And he's poochy in the middle. Just like me. He was poochy. And I never, ever, ever forgot that set of reasons. And that was the very first time I seen or heard of Billy Barnes. And I'm very proud to say that I got to become your friend. And got to feed off your passion for the show pig industry, obviously. And you had that passion, and you had that motor, and you had that energy when a lot of people would have given up, and you didn't. And you set the path for the James Backmans and myself and everybody else that wanted to be in the industry. You did it the hard way. You did it your own way, and you never gave up. And that's something I kind of always took from with me. And you're one of the three people that I could say, not even my wife, but you're one of the three people I could say I remember the very first time I saw you and met you. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you and the family and the kids and everybody. And I hope you enjoy it. And we'll be thinking about you and praying for you. Love you, Billy.